They're awesome.
Right,
I've seen them 3 times.
What's going on, guys? We are live. It is Let's Talk Beer for Sunday, January 28th, 2018, and this is the Extreme Beer Fest preview episode. Are you guys ready to get extreme?
I'm already extreme.
Oh, yeah.
Extreme, perfect. We have a couple of co-hosts this time. Ben is out doing the snowboard thing on a 40-degree day. But
Terrible snow, probably.
yeah, I don't know.
Right?
Maybe he lied to me.
He's waterboarding,
Probably.
maybe, or ice boarding.
He's waterboarding.
Different
Yeah,
waterboarding.
he just moved in. He's testing out his new torture chamber. I'm Brian, your host, and joining me as always in the co-host seat in person this time, Jeff Lee. What's up? I say this time, but it's been every other time but one.
Correct, I think.
Welcome back.
Everything's up. That's what's up.
And from Bad Lab, who's joining us on the journey to Extreme Beer Fest, friend of the show, Kathy Frakes. What's up?
Hello.
We are going, all three of us are venturing down to Boston next week, or this week, it depends on when you listen to it, to the Extreme Beer Fest. Is this both your first times?
It is my first time, yes.
No.
Not your first time? Okay. So we have one freshman?
Yeah, I've been to other beer advocate fests before, but not Extreme Beer Fest.
Okay, well, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through this festival. It is for those that are still looking for tickets. You can only go to, only Friday is available. So
The good thing about Friday, though, is that's the time all of us will be there.
That's true.
I
Yeah.
won't be there on Saturday,
Very true.
so get Friday tickets.
Absolutely. So the Extreme Beer Fest is Friday and Saturday, February 2nd and 3rd. The first session is 6 to 9:30 on Friday, and then the two sessions on Saturday are sold out. So if you have tickets, awesome. If you don't, I'm sorry. They're from 12 to 3:30 for the first session and 6 to 9:30 for the second session. Or they call it 2 and 3.
Oh, what was that?
What was that?
Was there a beer in the studio?
What do you got, Kathy?
Boulevard Bundled Up Barley Wine.
You got to get right into that mic, too.
Oh, it's a Boulevard
right in there.
Bundled Up Barley Wine.
Got it. Perfect.
Is that an extreme beer? Are we specifically drinking an extreme beer to talk about extreme beer?
It's a barley wine. It's extreme.
It's 10.5.
It also is extreme because it traveled on an airplane here.
Ooh,
True.
So it's extreme in many ways.
Extreme in many ways.
It was also traded for a bottle of whiskey.
It's true. Yeah, we didn't.
It's quite a story. About
So
this
it's an
bottle.
extreme way that it got here.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm cool with that.
It was a white elephant is what brought this beer to us. And then we will put it in the beer cam so y'all can see what we're talking about. I don't even know if it's sold out this way. Maybe Massachusetts, you might be able to find it because you can find some stuff. But either way, this is not the beer news show. We'll talk about that in a little bit. What we're here to talk about is the Extreme Beer Fest, and there's no better way to do this because there's a lot of beers going to this fest. There's 90 brewers and 386 beers. We're not going to read the entire list of beers. What we're going to do is kind of break down the list. Jeff and I have been crunching some of the data from some awesome beer advocate forum people who kind of made some spreadsheets, and we kind of combined them and did our own thing with them. So we are looking forward to going through some of this list here. We're going to read all 90 brewers here, and what an interesting way to go through that.
Instead of down through the top. Yeah.
Perfect. But yeah, Bundled Up Barley Wine. Coming in. No, it's good. No, that's what we have. We have a collective mind session here. Anything goes. So we're going to go through the list of these breweries here provided by beeradvocate.com and then kind of break down, what styles are there, what's the top rated beer there on Untappd, and then kind of go through maybe some strategies, some hot picks, maybe it's just some fest tips in general because there's many ways you can go about doing a fest like this. There's no way you're going to be drinking 386 beers. Cheers, guys.
Despite our best efforts.
Yeah, and it's extreme too.
Lovely.
Well played. Well
It's been out
played.
of the fridge for a little bit, warming up.
That's good. Tis extreme. So what we're going to do is we'll go through the list right now. You can follow along if you're watching us on Facebook Live or YouTube, or you can find this list and the other spreadsheets at letstalk.beer. Let's talk. Get into this right now. All right, so I'll just start reading off some of these breweries. And if something pops out, you can comment on it. If there's a beer that you like or you're psyched for, get it. We'll talk about it. But there's 90 breweries, so bear with us as we do this.
I can't wait for you to pronounce some of the foreign ones. Because by the way, this is not just an American represented festival.
Yes. So number. I'm not gonna number them because I'll just lose count, even though I'm numbering them. Two Cabezas.
Yep, I think
so.
so.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited they're bringing Berliner Weiss because I wouldn't expect a Brazilian brewery to be doing a German style like that.
But you think they would need that too in the hot
I guess that's
temperatures
true.
of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. And then we also have a 2SP Brewing Company of Aston, Pennsylvania. I see a Keller beer on there. I'll be going for that. what I should know before we go listing more of these, and you mentioned it before that you saw a lot of Berliner Weisses and Fest beers, things like that. What I noticed last year is extreme is a very broad term. It used to be, and I think I've only been to the last year's one, but I believe it used to be very high ABV beers across the board. As you go there, and it would be everything is like above 10% or something. But it seemed last year was a very creative and flavorful takes on like Berliners. I had a what's that durian? That stinky like Asian fruit. Someone made a durian.
yeah, that
durian
stuff.
Berliner Weiss. It smelled like a diaper, and actually it tasted like a diaper, so it's pretty good.
Well, that because I was, sort of tagging on to that when you and I were talking earlier. I was like, some of these don't seem extreme because my thought process was purely around ABV. Not that that's where I think normally, but that's what I expected this to be.
Yep.
So,
So we have a 3 Stars Brewery out of DC. What's interesting about these guys, real quick, is they have a beer called Funk Yo Couch. And Kathy and I were at GABF this past year, and a brewery won gold. I forget the style, and it's not this brewery with the same beer name.
interesting.
But this beer, the beer name that won, had an exclamation point. So I don't know. Do you know anything about trademarks? Can you trademark a name with a punctuation, and then name it something else without?
I feel like you could try.
I mean,
but
as a brewer, you have a lot of creative names that you have to like look to make sure that they're not taken.
If it's not trademarked, then you can name it. Like, you can have that name. So if the people who won JBF did not trademark that name with or without the exclamation point, I'm pretty sure, because someone might be remembering wrong, but Anheuser-Busch tried to tell Dogfish Head a few years ago they couldn't name their beer Punkin, even though Anheuser didn't have a beer called Punkin. It was called like Pumpkin.
Oh, okay.
But it was too similar, so I don't think that even if you trademark it, I don't think you can still use something even similar with or without. But if the beer who won JBF is not trademarked, then it's still fair game.
All right. The only beer coming out of St. Louis, or the only beer coming out of Missouri, is Four Hands Brewing Company. We got Seventh Son Brewery out of Dunedin, Florida. Did you go to Dunedin on your Florida excursion?
I couldn't even tell you where Dunedin is.
Cool people at that brewery.
For real?
Yeah.
How do you know about this?
I met him a few years ago.
All right, listen. We got experts in the house. Ardwolf Brewing Company out of Jacksonville.
Love the name.
Yeah, do you know what an Ardwolf is?
No. Is it like an aardvark wolf?
That'd be awesome. Yeah, they couldn't decide what they wanted. Against the Grain, showing up from Louisville, Kentucky.
Louisville, they get a good variety. They got 6 beers they're pouring.
Some really good looking names. I like Bo and Luke just because of the old Duke boys. Allagash, never heard of them, but these fledgling brewers are showing up they're as far as extreme goes, sure, but they just extreme ways of brewing,
good.
Extreme techniques. It's awesome. Aslan Beer Company out of Herndon, Virginia. I'm excited because I haven't had a beer from Virginia, I don't think, in forever.
And I believe they have the second highest average ABV of the beer they're pouring.
As you can see, they have a 15, 18.4, another 15, and a 7.
Yeah, they're. I'm skipping ahead to some of my numbers here.
That's cool. Banded Horn fans
love them.
Yeah,
fan of the show. Well,
Yep.
no,
Fan of the
no. Show is fans of them. Yeah,
show is fans of them.
They're probably fans of the show.
They're friends of the old show. And then Barreled Souls is going to be there. They're bringing a bunch of stuff. They're from Saco. Barrier Brewing Company out of Oceanside, New York. Bo's All Natural Brewing Company out of Van Cleek Hill, Ontario.
I'm curious with the all naturalness to talk about.
It looks like Gruit's. Well, there's 2 Gruit's. That's interesting. We'll have to try both of those.
And then an herb/spiced beer, so it's probably similar to
the Spice Principle. It's a pretty good.
Yeah,
but I like it not because of the pun on Vice Principal, but like this. It's the Spice Principle.
I get you.
Okay, got it.
As a all natural.
Yeah,
I think it's impressive they put all natural in the name too.
Yeah,
like a lot of people don't do that.
I just want to say Vice Principal is not spelled like that.
Oh,
see, but it's principle like the
but
principle
if I say
you're talking about.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, but
exactly.
Thank you.
People can't see me pointing. I'm pointing at Brian.
They gotta,
if they're watching. Yeah.
They can see if they're listening to us.
Maybe.
I hope everyone listening to this show closes their eyes and imagines them in the studio.
That's not a good idea.
Please don't. Bentwater Brewing showing up from Lynn. Always a popular place at these festivals. They're bringing 11% beer. Friend of the Seacoast.
Friend of us.
Yeah, I definitely. Yeah,
I think he'll say that.
Black Hog Brewing Company. Tyler. I don't know if he'll be there specifically, but his brewery will be there. Black Hog out of Oxford, Connecticut.
Violet Beauregard from
Willy Wonka.
Yes, thank you.
You're turning violet. Blackberry Farm Brewery out of Walland, Tennessee.
I think the only Roche beer on the list, I think.
Oh, man. Can't wait to get back to the numbers on that. Bolero Snort Brewery.
We're going there because of the name.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I would drink anything they made.
Oh, you better be able to represent that name too. Like, can't just be like two old people like
Yeah.
"We're Bolero," unless it's someone's name. Then I'm already an asshole. So
Snort is not somebody's name.
okay, I've heard worse. Sam Adams is going to be there, and probably at specific times, a lot like GABF and all these other brew fests, is they're going to have utopias. They're not pouring it the entire fest. I can probably guarantee that. But
Especially a 2009.
yeah. So if you go into the Smirno's booth like first, check out the chalkboard. They might have a schedule. Is like they might be doing 2 releases per session.
You mean the Boston Sam Adams? You said Smutty Nose.
Did I say Smirno's?
You said Freudian slip.
Oh my God.
Freudian slip.
I don't even remember saying it.
Yeah, you said
That's
it.
awesome.
Right? He said it. I'm not imagining it. He said that, right?
He said it.
Okay.
That's
good.
so crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, don't go to Smirno's booth because they won't be there. But go to Boston Beer Company's Sam Adams and then check out their chalkboard.
And wit beer, interesting because I don't find anything extreme about that other than I guess the ABV.
Holy shit!
And they
11.78 wit
yeah.
beer.
So based on the Utopias, they have the highest average ABV, as expected.
Noted. Right. Bottle Logic out of Anaheim, California.
All American styles, I'll say that. So go America.
Nice. Breakside Brewery, big fan out of Portland, Oregon.
Yep.
Brew Gentleman out of Braddock, Pennsylvania.
Also a name you better live up to.
Yeah.
Those better be some dapper gentlemen.
There's two women behind the thing. It's like, we're the gentlemen. Bring out the men. Brewery Vivant out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. Rep in Michigan. Lot of breweries. A lot of breweries kind of under the shadow of Bell's and the other one, Founders, in Michigan. So it'd be cool to see some other Michigan representation there. Burial Beer Co.
from Asheville.
Burley Oak out of Berlin, Maryland. I've heard of Burley Oak, but I'm not sure in what sense.
Sounds familiar, but
Sounds like a New Hampshire
another
brewery.
all American style, so I'll give them points for that.
CBC, Cambridge Brewing Company, showing up. Yesterday they had their barley wine festival.
Yeah.
And why didn't we all go? Well, I guess we're celebrating in our own sense right now. So
Because we can't go to everything.
No, we're trying. Yeah, I know.
We were at a different fest.
we were all different beer things yesterday. That's correct. Captain Lawrence Brewing Company out of New York. I remember having something from them once, but I forget what it was. Frost Monster. I'm going for it.
Yeah, I like the name.
I say I'm going for these, but you can't go in there with a plan. You really can't. Like top 5.
You can
10.
go in with a plan. It's probably not going to last very long.
Right. Then we got Carton Brewing Company out of Atlantic Heights, New Jersey.
St. Kitts.
St. Kit.
I like the Sunday
nice.
name too. That sounds exciting to me. Hopefully
yeah.
it's full of ice cream.
It's full of it's full of ice cream. Civil Society Brewery out of Jupiter, Florida.
Jupiter,
Oh
yeah.
my God, it's gonna be one of those podcasts. Common Roots Brewing Company from South Glens Falls, New York. Did you go up? Is that by Saratoga? Glens Falls? No, it's by Lake George.
No, Glens Falls is near there.
Yeah, I went to a drive-in once in Glens Falls. I saw the remake of Friday the 13th and like something else with my little cousins.
All right.
It's a while back.
I like their name, Stout AF. I assume that's the standard as fuck.
It's a
You know what? That's another name you better live up to.
yeah, it's true. Is this what is the ranking of Stout AF though? Like, is it really?
Or are they
is
trying
it
to be
so
funny?
much stout?
Or are
Yeah.
they trying to be funny too?
Yeah.
Is it like tongue in cheek kind of a thing?
Right.
You can never tell.
We have Crooked Hammock Brewery out of Lewes, Delaware. So one of the few, I imagine, breweries in Delaware. I could be wrong. There could be plenty there, but Delaware's
I only know of one other than now learning of Crooked Hammock. But
Samesies.
Sly and the Cherry Stone. I like that name.
same. That's pretty good too. Are you copying these down? Or-
No, we'll just re-listen to this.
That's true.
It's
true.
Our producer and production assistants are already writing all this down.
They're right,
for
yeah,
us.
you got it. Is it Distill Brewery?
I
out of
would,
Bloomington,
guess, I
Illinois?
would guess that's what it is.
Cool. A lot of big names there, like as in long names. Dogfish out of Delaware is going to be there with a bunch of stuff. Of course, they're bourbon barrel aged, oak aged, vanilla worldwide stout.
It's a lot of age there. That
Yeah.
They also are bringing 8 styles, which is the most.
Have you tried that chicha beer yet? Anyone?
I'm excited.
I wanna
When
try
I
it as
saw
well.
that, I was very excited
Okay,
to see
cool.
that.
Puddin' wine. That sounds interesting. Going for that.
Oh, they always have great names, though.
Oh boy, win our hearts. Down the road from Everett's going to be there. They just opened up a new place quite recently.
Been working on it for a couple of years. I think it just got opened, toward the end of 2017 there.
A ton of pinball machines.
Ton of pinball
Ton of
machines.
pinball machines.
It's a huge space. It's a
large.
it's a rad place.
Yeah. You fan of pinball?
Of course.
Right,
I'm not good, but
No, who is? You can't. What is it called? Tilting the machine.
Yeah.
You can't do it. Due South Brewery out of Boynton Beach, Florida, bringing a cream ale called Caramel Latte. Another beer that should better taste like a latte and less like coffee. Little fledgling brewery called Earth Eagle is going to show up from Portsmouth.
Hell yeah.
And I'm just glad that there's I'm a big Chocolate Groove fan, so I'm just like that's there. Yeah, all of them good, and some big love in the forums for Earth Eagle as well. Because I was looking for some stuff like, oh, Earth Eagle's showing up. Where's Trillium? Or stuff like that.
Yeah, well, an Earth Eagle is another one of those when we talk about how to define extreme. Like I feel like
God.
Earth
Yeah.
Eagle could be considered one of the definitions of extreme.
Does your brewer have a book published? No. Then
Did
Earth
you
Eagle.
boil 5 boar's heads in your beer?
Exactly.
It's awesome.
Or didn't you?
Only Boar's Head I noticed from the deli before the festival. We're going to hit up somewhere. Epic Brewing Company, Salt Lake City, Utah, which is interesting because doesn't Utah have a 4.5% kind of thing going on? Or
Well, yeah. I mean, I saw that. I was surprised because the whole
it could be contracted somewhere else because they have an 11%er. Well, they're all above the law. Triple barrel Big Bad Boot Baptist.
Jeez, that's a lot of that's a lot of bees.
Evil Genius is going to be there. Huge fan. Gwyneth Paltrow's head was in a box.
In the box.
In the box.
What's in the box?
Shut
That's
the
a great
box.
movie.
That's
It's a
pretty good.
great movie.
Exhibit A is going to be there. We're big fans. Have you had an Exhibit A?
I'd have to look. I can't keep track anymore.
I'm psyched of all of these because I've only had their the Kolsch's and the whatnots. So it'd be interesting to try a bunch of these good ones.
Old Office Space reference there.
Yeah, and it's a good can too. If you guys want to check out the label of we're going to need you to come in on Saturday, it's a pretty sweet drawing. Finback's going to be there. They're usually pretty packed, but they're only bringing 2 beers this time. Firestone Walker's going to be there. Definitely one to, don't miss.
Absolutely.
Scotch Parabola is going to probably be my go-to if I had one beer to get at Firestone. Foolproof is awesome. They have some new beers that I've never seen before, and looking forward to trying.
I like the vanilla espresso rain cloud porter. It sounds so light.
The peanut butter rain cloud is legit.
Yeah.
This is Firestone, by the way, is from Paso Robles, California, if you don't know it, and Foolproof is from Pawtucket, Rhode Island.
Pawtucket Pat. That's a brewery.
Pawtucket Pat.
They're not coming.
No?
That's from Family Guy.
Oh boy. Hello, Beta. Forbidden Root Restaurant and Brewery out of Chi-Town, Illinois is going to be there.
Randy Mosher.
Oh yeah.
Shout out.
This is the Randy Yeah, so we just got the book in today, Tasting Beer, version 4, but we're going to have
Version
them
2?
There's a version 4 of the Joy of Homebrewing, version 2 of Tasting Beer. You're right.
I guess that means it's a good book if they keep updating it and don't just relegate it to the scrap heap. So
Yeah. So
makes it even
bring.
better.
Oh, we're gonna bring that book to sign for sure. Excited.
Hopefully he's around.
Better be there.
He was there the last time I was in.
There is a note that says all booths will be staffed by brewery staff or
Okay.
manned by brewery
So
staff.
not like GABF where they just throw any.
Yeah, there's just a
schlub.
guy. So who knows how true that's going
Shout
to
out
be.
to the schlubs at
But it
GABF.
is yeah, a lot of terrible.
Shout out to all my schlubs out there.
But yeah, so it does say that all booths will be manned by brewery staff.
Okay, sweet. 4 Quarters Brewery out of Winooski. I'm a fan. I don't know. Have you been
I have not.
there? But the
I don't
next
know
time
how I didn't go up. I
the
don't know
next
how I
time to
did that.
go is they're probably going to be next time you go is probably going to be expanded because they're working on an expansion like of the same place.
Oh, really? There's a brewery right
They're
now
busting
that's
out.
working on expansions. Wow.
I don't know if that's sass towards me or just more of like
It's sass towards you.
I'm into it. Nice brewing out of Limerick, Maine. Their Nice Weiss is good. That's all I've had from Nice.
I would say Nice if
Yeah.
it was me. We'll ask them when we're there. I have not had anything from them actually, so I'm excited.
All right, Jeff, take it from here.
I think it's nice.
Okay, Kathy's first time on the show.
I do.
I'm into it.
Oh, you really want me to keep reading?
Yeah, pick
Oh,
it
okay.
up. Yeah, why not?
All right, so we have Great Notion Brewing from Portland, Oregon. The DDH Juice Box I like the sound of, just because I like double dry hops and I like juice boxes. Greater Good Imperial Brewing Company from Worcester,
Nice.
Massachusetts. Anybody that has Imperial in their name, I'm a fan of.
Yes.
Enjoy responsibly though.
Remember High and Mighty, by the way? The brewery High and Mighty?
Vaguely,
Yeah.
I would not have come up with that on my own. But
Sorry,
now that you
side
mention
talk.
it, no, that's fine. That's
Sorry.
fine. Half Acre Beer Company from Chicago, Illinois. Brian's giving a thumbs up on that.
I'm a
one.
fan.
Hidden Cove Brewing Company from Wells. I've had some of their stuff like back when they were the restaurant.
Yeah.
Just did the brew puppy thing. So
Yeah, they're pretty good on Untapped.
we can get there actually on tap score in a little bit. Interborough Spirits and Ales.
I think a lady owns that.
Interborough?
Yep.
Cool.
And the madder, fatter method sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
It would be awesome if they could bring spirits too. J. Wakefield Brewing from Miami, Florida.
Go get it. Do they have it? Nope.
Oh, so
They have the
Go
Haterade. No, but still go. All their stuff is ridiculous. But it tastes, all their stuff tastes like it, you read it. Like Orange Dreamsicle will taste like that for sure.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Jack's Abbey Brewing from Framingham obviously needs no introduction.
I bet you they're going to have a big booth of some sort.
I would imagine so. But
Happy 1 year too with Springdale. I don't know if they're going to this, but
all right.
yeah.
2 Baltic Porters at Jack's Abbey too, which those of you that listen frequently know that I love porters. We got Jackie O's Pub and Brewery in Athens, Ohio.
I almost wore the damn sweatshirt. Shout out to Zach from Bad Lab. Big fan. Does he know they're going?
He does,
He does now. He does now. Son of a...
What's up, Zach?
We have Kane Brewing Company from Ocean, New Jersey, bringing
Porter.
yes.
And he just retired from WWE, so he'll be hopefully all the place will turn red and set on fire when Kane walks in.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Looks like some varieties on the same one, but that sounds exciting. Kent Falls Brewing Company in Kent, Connecticut. I think that's our second Connecticut one we've seen right there. The Partage des Pêches. I love peaches, so anytime you put peaches in front of me, I am excited.
I thought those were a translation. I thought it was like that's not.
Well,
I love
pêche means peach. I
No,
know.
I know.
I don't know what
No,
partage
no.
means. I didn't get that far in French.
I
So.
was gonna be like, Jeff does not translate this well.
We have Kings County Brewers Collective from Brooklyn, New York. All of their beers are capitalized all the way through. I don't know if that's a branding thing or a typo or what, but they better be big and exciting if they're all capitals like that. Lamplighter Brewing Company in Cambridge, Massachusetts. They won't be far from home.
Easy, Tiger.
Richard III sounds exciting to me
Yeah.
as an IPA, an English IPA as well. LIC Beer Project. Is it LIC or LIC? I'm gonna go LIC from Queens, New York,
Electric Lady.
and I think it's like the only APA that's on the list. We'll have to go check after.
Nice.
Long Trail from Bridgewater Corners, Vermont.
Hell yeah.
This kimchi makeju this sounds
Oh,
interesting
weird,
because
yeah.
kimchi is delicious.
It could be spicy.
Yeah, but kimchi in a beer is not something I would have thought
Because
of.
it's already fermented. So
is.
what can that add to it besides the taste? Ugh.
I don't know. We're gonna have to talk about that one.
Yeah. Yeah, we have to drink about it.
Magnify Brewing Company in Fairfield, New Jersey.
Hey.
They've got a double barrel aged stout. Sounds exciting. And keep it mellow, was kind of spelled like mellow yellow. So
Fruit juice.
sounds exciting.
All right.
Mars Community Brewing, also from Chicago. Tart and tangy. Sounds right up my alley.
Cool.
And we have the Millhouse Brewing Company from Poughkeepsie, New York.
A lot of these. So I wonder if all these beers, I guess, can be on tap at the same time, but just keep an eye out because these might be all the beers they have for the weekend.
Yeah.
I might shuffle them in and out. So
And obviously, like the smaller, you always got to be aware of the smaller guys. Sometimes this is a big effort for them to come to a beer fest.
that's true. So they might bring them. I mean, we were at a beer fest up in New Hampshire on the lake yesterday, and there was one brewery that brought like 7 beers. Canterbury brought like all of their stuff, and it was pouring at the same time. So their booth could be big enough to do that. Poughkeepsie, though.
And Millhouse, they have 8 beers pouring, which I think ties them with Dogfish. The New England Brewing Company from Woodbridge, Connecticut, our third Connecticut entry with Peach Fuzz. Who doesn't love peaches? Oh, Brian is digging for some sort of a prop.
But
Oh,
Boom.
he has the hat.
Good hat right
he
here.
has the
Let's go.
trucker's cap.
let's go.
Then we have the Newburgh Brewing Company from Newburgh, New York, bringing their 5th anniversary ale. So congrats to them. Hopefully that was, a successful anniversary. Night Shift Brewing Company from Everett. Obviously, we're big fans. Big fans.
Big fans,
It's
yeah.
interesting though. Nothing like overly sour. They're not bringing a lot of some of their other sours.
It's
and
funny 'cause
whatnot.
when I was there last year, they brought only their presidential IPA line, which was, I mean, rare but wasn't extreme. There was a very IPA as well, a heavy fest last year, which I thought was interesting.
And I was going to say this doesn't look like a IPA heavy fest, which is sort of going to be refreshing. I think for
Right.
you,
Yeah.
being an IPA hater.
I'm
kind
over
of.
it. All right, I'm over it. I'm trying new things this year.
We have Otter Creek Brewing Company from Middlebury, Vermont. Santa's Helper. Sounds delicious. And Gin House Saison. I hope there's some gin in that.
Yeah.
When I was up there earlier the year, they did not have any of these on, so these will all be new to me. Cool. We have Proclamation Ale Company from Warwick, Rhode Island. Breathing life into a dead ghost is probably the most interesting name for a beer. I really want to know what the story is there.
Imagine the Google search. I wonder if someone named a beer like this already. Like, definitely not.
Yeah,
Definitely
maybe
not.
that's why they went with it.
What's a living ghost?
Yeah,
That's
breathing
a good-
life into a living ghost.
So I think we're going to need to dig into that a lot with them when we get there. Relic Brewing Company out of Plainville, Connecticut.
good stuff. I don't have much of their stuff often, but decent stuff from what I've had.
If they're bringing a porter, I'm excited. Yep. Revolution Brewing out of Chicago. Call me Ishmael. Opening line.
It's a good brewery. Good brewery.
The Rheingeist Brewery out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Sounds
Another good one.
sounds German inspired.
Ooh, Goza.
They got, even though they're bringing a Belgian, one German, and two American styles. So,
I'm gonna write down something.
oh, Brian's got something.
That's one other Goza count. I want to make sure I
Oh,
know
yeah,
how many
we'll check on
Gozas
that.
there are.
Sure. Right Brain Brewery from Traverse City, Michigan. Another Michigan entry, as we talked about Michigan. I don't want to say flying under the radar, but maybe not as appreciated as they should
Cashews
be.
Clay.
Ah,
It's a pretty good name for a
that's-
beer.
I didn't catch it at first,
Yeah.
but then they got Hotbox in it.
Gin Joy. I mean, this might
these
be the
guys-
place. Right brain.
Yeah, pistachio avocado milk stout.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys, they got some good ideas.
Wandering Gypsy, aren't we all?
Hello,
everyone at that
hello,
festival
Gypsy.
is a hello Gypsy. Everyone's a wandering gypsy at that goddamn festival.
By the end of it, of course.
Right.
Or maybe a ghost by the end. Shorts Brewing Company out of Bel Air, Michigan. We keep doing the Michigan thing. Exterior Illumination. Sounds like a lighting store.
Do what you wanna.
Do what you want.
Yeah.
13.6% rye beer. That's
Wow,
what I
that's
want.
you. That's all the rye, all for you.
Machu Picchu, and they've got a gin barrel one too. So definitely checking them out.
Is that a mildly racist?
Stop it.
Anyway,
We're gonna have to edit this.
yeah, no way.
Sierra,
Edit their name.
Sierra Nevada out of Chico. Obviously needs no introduction either. They're bringing their Roggenbach, which I'm sure Brian will be all over the Roggen beer.
Go over the Roggen beer and the barrel aged Wolf and Annie wheat wine for sure. There's got to be a very few amount of wheat wines there. so.
Yeah, I think there are very few.
Yeah.
We have Single Cut Beersmiths.
Single cut.
They-
Good.
Good stuff.
Rye
Yeah.
whiskey barrel aged heavy boots of lead. That's another.
Oh, that means it's gonna.
I
That
want to
means
know
something.
I want to know their system for naming
Yeah,
beers. 'cause
it
they're
means
just
something.
Punk with the stutter. That's another good one there.
That's me.
We have Sketchbook Brewing Company out of Evanston, Illinois. I think this is our first Illinois entry.
Negative.
We've had Chicago.
Oh,
It's our first Evanston, Illinois.
I'm an
entry.
idiot.
That's what you
Never
meant.
mind. I'm an idiot.
It's our first brewery from Evanston.
I'm an idiot, is what it means. Because there's another one right below it.
Well, it doesn't matter. Could have been first.
Yeah. Solemn Oath. I forgot that Chicago's in Illinois.
Amazing.
Chicago's its own thing in my eyes. Yeah, so Solemn Oath Brewing out of Naperville, Illinois.
What?
Naperville.
Naperville?
I don't know.
I would say Naperville. It could be
I'm gonna
Naperville.
look it up. Keep
Yeah,
talking.
Solemn Oath. I apologize if I pronounced your city wrong, but Beverage of Champions. That's another bold name.
Most important beverage of the day. Solemn Oath is. I'd like the confidence coming through on these beer names.
Hopefully the beer delivers. We have Springdale Barrel Room out of Framingham.
It's
There you go.
Naperville.
Naperville.
I think that's how you look at it.
Naperville. Okay. I got the Good and You from Springdale there. It's something I've said on occasion. And Tequila Me Softly, also
Really good.
pretty cool. The Collective Brewing Project out of Fort Worth. I think I could confidently say that's our first Texas entry, though.
For sure.
I think.
For
All
sure.
right, so
Yeah.
The idiot has left the room. Capo Beer is an interesting sounding name on that one, too.
Yep.
The Lost Abbey out of San Marcos.
Oh,
Obviously,
Yep.
Yes.
they know what they're doing. They need pretty much no introduction.
Peach.
The North Brewery out of Endicott, New York. They have one just called Life. That's it right
This
there.
beer is life.
And the Origins of the Universe. That sounds like a very deep brewery.
God. They're going to be way smarter than us. I don't want to go up to that. They're going to be talking to us the whole time.
The Rare Barrel out of Berkeley, probably the one I'm most excited about. I've been out to that area a lot, never got to go there, and a couple of the beers I have had from there were all awesome. So I am most excited about the Rare Barrel. Throwback, also from Northampton, New Hampshire. Those of you that are regular listeners know all about them. They are bringing, Fat Alberta, which I think most people would say is one of their best beers. That
I love how it
is
says
sought after.
not spiced. Like they make it a point to say it's not spiced with, like,
Which
it's not like cardamom or pumpkin spice.
Which I think is all the all you need to say about what pumpkin beer has become in the industry. It's like
Spice
something,
beer.
yeah,
Yeah.
Which I'd rather not have it
that
spiced.
can't be the name of the beer though.
No.
Is my
I think they're just trying not to turn you off from it.
okay.
Yeah, or just trying to get it up front when people complain.
Right.
This
Gotcha.
isn't
No, yeah.
spicy.
No, I totally understand that. I'm just
I wonder if they're going to rim those with cinnamon and sugar.
Not spiced, but we'll spice it if you want.
I'll say, hey, it's like they're shaking
self
it.
self spice. Yeah, there's a spice station behind you, like when you get a fried dough or something.
Rose-colored glasses is awesome. We were just having that last weekend.
I think I've had that
Avoiding
one
the
before.
Patriots.
It's true. We walked in a throwback and they don't have a TV. It was during the Patriots game and it was dead, and we were excited.
I was at home curled up in a ball. I can't. Watch,
I know.
I can't.
It
watch
was
playoff
during that.
football.
It was during the tough times.
Yeah. Tin Man Brewing Company out of Evansville, Indiana.
Oil
Possibly our
can.
first Indiana entry.
Yeah, you're right. You're very true.
Beers beats Battlestar Galactica.
That's the best.
There'll probably be a nerd contingent in front of that one.
Do you know what that's about?
It's from The Office.
Yeah, okay, just making sure.
Transient Artisan Ales out of Bridgman, Michigan.
The boys, man, they're cool dudes.
Sounds
making
like-
some ridiculous beers.
Sounds like we'll be hanging out there. They've got a
Oh,
Beer
we
de
will.
Champagne, which I don't think we saw many of here.
Champs. I mean,
Champs. It's. It makes
I like how
sense.
they spell it like it's pronounced.
It
So you
makes
don't say champs.
it makes it easy for people like me.
Yeah. Do you want to take over the list?
Oh, you can.
Maybe pass from the T's on.
Why are there really hard ones coming out?
Okay, maybe. Yeah. When's it getting the S? Okay, well, actually, yeah. No, I'm just
You,
kidding.
you don't. I mean, you don't have
I'm
to.
just passing stuff around.
right.
You don't have to.
I'm apparently thinking everything is new from.
All right, Jeff, keep
Illinois.
going then.
Look
All
at
right.
our first New York brewery.
All right, we have Transmitter. Well, all right, well, first up there.
First Bridgman, or first Queens, New York.
We have our first brewery named Transmitter Brewing from Queens, New York. All of their beers have some sort of letter and number combination. They don't have like a.
What does
a
it
name.
mean? Follow the
Yeah,
money.
Exactly.
Follow the money.
Trophy Brewing out
That's
of.
another beer to champagne, though.
Oh, so
That's curious.
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm excited to check that out.
Trophy Brewing out of Raleigh, North Carolina. Beat Goes On. Pretty cool name.
Solid beer name.
It's
pretty good. It's pretty good.
TRVE Brewing. True.
True, I think we found out when we went.
Oh, is
Or-
it? Is it that it's like they when U's used to be like that? True.
But still,
Brewing?
why would you spell it? I know what you're saying, though.
Yeah. Out of Denver.
Yeah.
I've not heard of them before, but 3 American Wild Ales and then a Keller beer.
This is
So-
where you. I mean, they're probably solid beers. I don't mean to downplay them by saying this, but this is the booth that you go to when you're tired of the 12%ers because the
Exactly.
highest percentage beer is 7%.
Two Roads out of Connecticut. Again, another brewery that I don't really think needs much of an introduction. I got a Sauv Blancosa, so that's exciting to me.
Yeah.
Upland Brewing Company out of Bloomington, Indiana, our second Indiana entry, I think. Oak Brucks, I'm down with that. And, Teddy Bear Kisses on Bourbon.
Right.
That's-
I live my life waiting for teddy bear kisses. Add bourbon, that's fine.
exactly.
yeah. They have a teddy bear that's like it's like
If that's not served by a teddy bear,
Right.
I'm gonna be disappointed. Urban Artifact out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Another gin pocket watch. So gin in the name there sounds interesting to me.
Let me take this next one and the last one if I could.
It is the next one is the last one.
Right, we take it.
Okay.
Vantage Valley, big fan. Western Mass. They are about
You love Western.
a
Mass.
mile from this.
Oh, they're
I
in
love Western
Lud-
Mass. I'm from Western
They're in
Mass.
Ludlow.
Yeah, they're in Ludlow, Mass. I've only had their watershed because they're one of those breweries that are very, very new and sell out of their beer quick because it's just they make a beer, but it looks like they have a lot more that are coming here. So I'll be pouring.
A milkshake IPA. Yeah, I'm down.
But why is it called I'll be pouring? like it's like
you don't really pour a milkshake.
it's
either.
a start of a email. Okay, I'll be pouring the milkshake IPA.
Yeah, it was a typo.
But yeah, so I'm excited for that, and yeah, Ludlow because I believe last year Iron Duke was there, and I just love them, and yeah, Vantage Valley.
All right.
Let's get into the numbers.
The numbers, kid.
Actually, let me start off by saying this before the numbers. Looking at this list very fast, as fast as we just did. Can you guys guess what the most popular longest line brewery will be? I'll give you a gauge. Last time I was at the Extreme Beer, the Extreme Beer Fest I don't know, but the Microbrew Fest, the longest line out of any brewery there, Barreled Souls.
That is surprising.
Surprising. So what I mean to say by that is it's anyone's game.
Yeah.
I want to say I'll start.
please.
I think Lost Abbey is going to have a nice line,
I'm
healthy.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably agree with that. I think based on some name recognition and the styles they're bringing and what they're doing, I could agree with that. Maybe the Rare Barrel too. Like I said, one of the ones I'm most excited for. I've been talking to a few people about this festival, and they're like, "Yeah, Rare Barrel's coming," because Rare Barrel's also doing a thing at Trillium the day before.
Right.
So I'm thinking maybe that might build some interest. So
Sure.
we'll see.
What do you think about what's your thoughts on?
I hope that Transient Ales has a long line, because if you're not in line for them, then you're doing it wrong.
True.
But I'm gonna say J. Wakefield probably gonna have
Good
a
call.
pretty decent line.
I'm going to look at this map real quick that they have on Beer Advocate, and usually they try to space out the ones they think will be big, so I'll try to read between the lines here and look at the four corners, just the four corners, to see what those breweries are. Do you think that'd be fine?
Yeah.
I should have looked at your numbers because they don't order it by anything special here. But brewery number 96, I don't know. God, you must be able to find that faster than me.
Yeah, I can. Hold on. I've got to scroll over here. I've got way too many tabs open. But yeah, 96.
Yeah, look up 96. We'll just go look at the four corners of this whole brewery, this Brewfest.
I'm getting there. It is Cigar City. So they're going to be big ones.
We didn't mention them at all, though. That's interesting. They weren't
Was
on-
that not on that list?
It was on that list.
Did we skip? No, did we skip over them?
Negative. If I was reading the list at that time, and I was,
So I
very
wonder.
possible.
So we were going down the webpage, right?
Yes.
So if there was something missed,
it's not there. So it might not be there. There was a thing in
Oh.
the forum about Cigar City, but I didn't read into it.
So yeah, any brewery, by the way, that we didn't mention, we apologize. We're just going down the list.
this is on Beer Advocate. So Cigar City is on the map, not on the list. So they're 96, which again, it's a good spot for a long line brewery. What about 29?
Let me just
Location number
Let
29.
me find location 29.
Bingo. Sorry.
It is Firestone Walker.
Yep. Okay. What about go all the way down to the end here? 66 and 6.
So 66 is Long Trail.
Maybe, it's and then all the end caps are big. Like I bet 35 is.
Oh,
Dogfish
and
Head.
wait, Otter Creek, Long Trail, and Otter Creek together.
Okay, makes sense.
6 is Jack's Abbey.
6 Jack's Abbey. Okay, cool. And then 35 and 38 must be Sam Adams and
35 is
Dogfish.
Beer Advocate.
Oh,
is
right.
35.
Yeah. Okay, that
And
makes
then,
sense.
did you want to know 36 too?
38.
Oh, 38 is.
Then I'll stop asking numbers.
Dogfish Head. 38 is Dogfish Head.
Okay.
So
Hell
okay, so yeah, so
yeah.
they've got the big guys
Yeah.
positioned, but as my experience at Beer Fest, I agree with you that obviously the corners usually are big stuff, but there's always going to be the underdog that has the huge line.
And what's good about this fest and what Kathy was alluding to is she comes with the knowledge knowing that Transient is badass. And there's going to be a lot of other people there going for that type of like the brewery that they know is awesome. So even though you're going to find some wandering gypsies there, don't be afraid to ask those people about what are they drinking, where should we be going? Because I bet in this day and age of craft beer, everyone's a fanboy of the ones that aren't super popular in the eyes of New England. So maybe it's a good time to ask, where should I be going?
But I think it'll also, at least, for me, only going on Friday, that's sort of the session where you start to figure stuff out. Those of you that are doing multiple sessions, I think it might be a very different day on day 2.
True.
For those that have discovered something on Friday and now are putting that plan into action on Saturday.
Yeah.
So who knows?
So we what we did was we took there was 2 Excel spreadsheets made by some insane Beer Advocate fans. I'll try. It's Ale Claire 20 and Ravage Cat of the Beer Advocate forums. Made 2 separate Excel spreadsheets for this for the ones that people that are going and want to kind of dive into more of the data here. And what mainly Jeff did, I just came up with the idea, was
Sorry,
really.
Can we go back to the map? The map has Bottle Logic as well, which I don't remember discussing.
Nope, we
in the
didn't.
list.
We didn't say it. We didn't say that. No.
Nope.
I just caught my eye. I think Bottle Logic is also awesome. Somewhere I'd love to see a
let's
line.
see what they have. I'm pulling up on this list and see what we have.
And then
here.
Kings County Brewers Collective. We didn't talk about.
No, I think we did.
Oh,
there was a
never mind.
Brewers Collective. Bottle Logic bringing some interesting sounding. Limon Pepino. It's a German.
Well, that's on the spreadsheet. So
Nope, sorry, that's Breakside. I read on the wrong line. Sorry, they're bringing El Duente and Diviseros and Radical. Interesting
maybe, I
sounding
guess.
names I can't pronounce.
Okay, so again, we took the 2 spreadsheets and kind of merged them into one, but then we broke them out by a bunch of different stuff. So for those data nerds and people that want to break things down even further, we went ahead and did that for you. So you can find the link to this on our website and in the show notes for this podcast and on Bookface. What's this go by? How do you want to start this? Just by counts by style? Because it was.
Let me ask one question first, because it's a number I have, and then we can dive into
Do I have
that.
the answer?
Since we talked about ABV sort of being in some of our heads as to a metric for extreme, what do you think the average ABV is for the whole festival?
9.
That's a good guess.
Are you reading my screen?
No.
It's not exactly right, but it's close, Brian. So what do you...
10.
Nope. It's actually in the other direction. 8.3.
Okay.
It's cool.
8.3 is the average ABV, which is bigger than most.
Take
probably.
away Utopia. Don't worry about doing
Yeah.
that. I mean, you have to
Honestly,
do
though, at 396 beers or whatever, Utopia's not really... So it would be 8
It's
or
enough to bring up
8.2.
the average of Sam Adams, just their
Just-
little
yeah, right.
Yeah,
chunk, but
It's probably not that big. So I just wanted to throw that out there. That was a
That's
number
cool.
I crunched during this. But yeah, other than that, yeah, go through the rest of them.
We got it. So there was how many styles we're talking about? 50.
There's 54
55.
style. 54.
54,
styles.
yeah, right. Excluding Cell 1,
Yes.
as you Excel experts know. Let's just go through them real quick. The American Wild Ale has 71. There are 46 Imperial Stouts, 36 IPAs.
American IPAs.
Sorry.
because
36
there's a couple other IPAs.
36 American IPAs, 33 Imperial IPAs, 23 Saisons, 15 Russian Imperial Stouts, 14 Milk Stouts, 11 American Porters, 11 American Strong Ales, 11 Gozas. That's
there's
my
your
answer.
question.
So that's pretty good. 7 barley wines, American barley wines, 7 American Stouts, 7 fruit beers, 7 red ales. There are 6 Berliner Weiss, cream ales, and Scottish Gruits, 5 Scotch ales, and there are 4 American brown ales, Belgian strong dark ales, and Bière de Champagne.
champagne.
Excuse me. And then, should we go through the rest of them? I guess we're already halfway through.
I mean, it drops off pretty
That's fine,
precipitously
yeah.
after that.
So then there are 3 American pale lagers, Baltic porters, Belgian pale ales, Belgian strong pale ales, chili beers, German pills, hefts, and spiced beers. And there are 2 of each of the American pale wheat ale, English barley wine, Keller beer, old ale, quad or quadruple, rye beer, triple, wheat wine, and wit beer. So 2 wheat wines. That was my. I want to check, make sure how many there were there. And the rest of these have 1. So one-offs according to the list we just read before of the breweries. American malt liquor, American pale ale, Bière de Garde, double, English IPA, Flanders Oud Bruin, IPA, Lambic, Munich Hellslager, oatmeal stout, pumpkin ale, Rausch beer, red lager, Roggenbier, Weizenbach, and Winterwarmer.
The thing that's
How doing that last one?
That was awesome.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
The thing that strikes me as most interesting about this is 5 years ago, if
Yep.
you had an Extreme Beer Fest, I feel that the majority of those styles in the 2 and 1 counts would have dominated
That's true.
some of
That's
the
true.
festival. Like, you'd see things like doubles and triples and old ales and stuff like that would have dominated, especially if you're talking about high ABV.
Yeah.
So I think it's highlights the shift.
And considering that they have Beer Advocate has their own Belgian Beer Fest, which I believe is in September timeframe.
It's June this year. They just
Is it
announced
June?
it. Yeah,
Okay.
June 22nd and 23rd.
Still at Cyclorama?
Still at Cyclorama, and the 22nd Friday night is Night of the Funk,
Oh, NOTF.
and the 23rd is my birthday, so it's like my birthday festival.
Yes. So knowing that they have their own separate festival for that, and I don't know the control that BA has over what beers come in. It is what it is, but there are 71 American Wild Ales, which is the top style going there. So yes, they could be extreme. Like again, the definition of extreme is like the definition of craft beer.
Well, that's
Like,
actually
what is it?
sort of just came to me is when Beer Advocate puts this out to breweries, how are they pitching it as come to Extreme Beer Fest? Like, what do they mean by extreme? Is there guidance? Like, this might be something we should ask, because I'm looking at the website right now and I don't see it.
Okay. You're looking.
And so maybe this is something we should ask when we're there. Is like what did they give you as I guess a beer that pushes the boundaries of brewing is what it says.
Beer
in
that
their
pushes the
logo.
boundaries of brewing. Really out of the box thinking. when it
Yeah,
comes
like
to-
so. It'll be interesting to ask some brewers how they pick the beers they brought too. Like, I mean, maybe some of the small guys like, well, this is the extremist beer we have, but
yeah.
you know,
Wait,
how did some
a
of the-
beer for extremists?
yeah.
It's not that kind of mess.
Yeah, this it's not that kind of show either. But
different one. I'm into it.
it'll be interesting, I think, to see how people match their beer to the word extreme.
Yeah. What other numbers can you crunch? Oh, wait. Are you guys surprised by any of these numbers? I know you just said, Kathy, thoughts on maybe you thought there'd be more of something or less of anything? Or just.
I was kind of waiting to get to the end of the list here to see where the styles have kind of overlapped. So you start off with, so down number 46 says there's one IPA.
Oh,
so
true.
can we really just add that to number 4 and make that 37 American IPAs?
Probably.
And if we're talking like general, like this is great. This is a really comprehensive list, but if we combined Imperial Stout with Russian Imperial Stout isn't even technically a style anymore. It's like, according to the BJCP anyways, it's just Imperial Stouts. So can we really combine those and then get a different, more realistic look at what these are?
It would not move Imperial Stout a place. I guess it's interesting if we look at like what would happen. You know, they would
Right.
still be second. And I agree with you that these are probably brewer submitted styles. And
Right.
I think it speaks to the state of the industry with this whole like trying to fit your beer into a style is a struggle for some people.
Right.
Like we
Speaking
don't.
of the BJCP,
Yeah,
not
like-
everyone's brewing for it. People like American Wild Ale.
Well, I was going to say that too. Is
It's
that
so
not
broad.
the biggest catch-all since like
Yeah.
Saison? Like you could
Exactly.
like Saison is also another like super catch-all. So.
IPA as well. Is it an IPA? Is it dry hopped or is it double dry hopped? In the end, it's still an IPA.
Right.
So you know what? This whole like counts by style. Let's just be the first people to just cast off style. It's all beer. There's 398 beers going to be there.
Yeah.
You know.
If we broke it down by yeast strain and just called
You
it
got those numbers? I know you're working on
American
the sheet. You got yeast strains in this?
or
I will go to
British or Belgian and just kind of go from there and let your ABV and let your color and let it be decided that way, or you know.
Let ABV be your guy.
I'm all for casting off styles because just tell me what I'm drinking. And all too often I've had a lot of beers that, oh, this is my brown ale, and this isn't. Like you set out to brew one and you should have renamed it when you did.
It's the color brown.
Describe it to me.
That's gonna be the start of your every TED talk you ever do from now on. Is like brew a,
Wait.
brown ale.
You imply that I do a lot of TED Talks.
No,
I
from
don't.
now on. From now on, when you get back into them.
Yeah.
that's-
I've never been invited to listen to
But
a
it's such
TED Talk.
that's such a good point though, and you say it over and over, and it makes so much damn sense. It's like here's this, like it isn't like I can tell that this should have been like sure, but it's not.
And I don't know. It's just maybe the fact that brewing is continuing to mature and people are trying to get so creative, and the need to differentiate yourself in the market means you need to do something different and not live within these guardrails that are set by the BJCP. And obviously, when you're I get why it's there, because when you're judging beer, there's got to be some like you can't take an IPA and an American Wild and say let's judge these against each other. So you've got to
Right.
have some sort
Right.
of. But I think too many people are hung up on that.
Yeah, and it's still, and what scares me about the Extreme Beer Fest is you don't have that much time. You have 3.5 hours for all these beers.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them might not be labeled as what they are. They might just have the name of the beer. And if as someone that doesn't like sour or wild ales that much, I hope I can find. I hope they're called out.
Every sour I try, you're going to try too.
Yeah, buddy.
Because I am a big sour fiend.
Let's go. So what you also did, Jeff, is you broke out another tab of brewery by style, which is probably my favorite tab on this whole list.
Yep.
Because if you want to find a IPA, here are the breweries doing them.
Correct.
You want to find a wheat wine, check these guys out. So
Yep. So it'll help you, dial it in again if you're one of those IPA chasers or whatever.
so if I go for wheat wine, because I want to know, it's so they're.
It isn't filtering right at the moment, so you have to search. I'll work on the filtering.
The American malt liquor, the only one there is Otter Creek, but when that style came up, it made me think that could be what these Utah people are calling their beer to Utah.
Mm-hmm.
Can they make malt liquor that's more than 4.5%? And
Interesting.
then when they bring it to a fest, they actually call it what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a good point too, because I know at one point, like in Texas, had a law that differentiated the difference between beer and ale. So there was like, which we laugh because
Yeah.
ale is beer. Texas, if you're listening, Texas,
They're all listening.
That's a really good point to bring up how some people have to get around laws and rules, and how rules are even like, again in Texas, they have a different definition of beer and ale.
Thanks,
and
Prohibition.
That's just asinine. Yeah, the temperance movement.
So wheat wines, I searched just by searching this this list. Barreled Souls is the other one.
And I can add actually the name of the beer to this. After
get
the
in
fact,
there.
I'll,
Sure.
I'll do that after. Yeah, so
Wowie.
we're gonna post the link to this. So if you guys need the ultimate Let's Talk Beer
I need
guide
it.
to Extreme
Yes.
Beer Fest,
I want it.
This will be available.
And again, like you can, this is definitely mobile-ish. Like you can bring Google Sheets with you on your
all
phone.
Google Sheets. Yep.
But also, I want to keep stressing because I know if this ever gets on BA, I'm not going to post it because I don't do whatever promotion. We're giving credit to the people, so the
Correct. We're gonna put their names.
It's
in
it's in bold right there. Like you can't see it on this thing, but
Okay.
it's there.
All right.
First tab. I can scroll over. Why not? Just for you guys, though.
Boom.
I give credit to where credit's due. We just took the data that they provided because that is a lot of goddamn time. Because I tried to do this
Data
last
entry,
year.
yeah, I know.
I tried to do this at last year's Red Hook Fest of like 30 breweries, and I'm like, forget this. I'm not doing this anymore because no one cares, but this has a lot of eyes. So good job on those dudes
Although,
or guys.
I like to
El
see-
Claire could be a girl for all I know.
I like to see that they have sort of already a layout for the handout they're going to give you. I've noticed in a lot of beer fests lately, you're like on your own as far as what you're getting to drink. So like the fact that they already have this planned as a handout,
Yeah,
awesome.
but people are gonna be running to 96 and Cigar City.
Yeah, all right, we'll figure it out.
Can we print all this?
This could
You
be
You
printed.
could probably do a good print of the beer by style.
Yeah. No,
we come out with a notebook passing around with our logo on it.
Yeah, oh.
With credit to other people, but
Well, and we probably need to get permission to do that.
of printing stuff.
No, to like handouts.
Yes,
no,
true.
no soliciting.
All right, what else we got?
Real quick, we got beer count by brewery. So if you're looking at which booth you can go to and get the most number of beers, we have that with Dogfish Head and Millhouse at the top at 8, and then all the way down to Proclamation and Finback with 2 each. So I would guess let's go to those guys with smaller amounts because they're probably bringing better quality across the board. I don't know. Just to guess.
High hopes. High
hopes.
This is what craft beer is all about.
We have the average ABV by brewery. So this is the beers that they're bringing, the average ABV. Boston Beer, obviously the highest, a function of Utopia's being there. But Aslan, I think we talked about that too. They are the next, and they're bringing 5 beers as well. So definitely up there. Obviously consume responsibly, but if you're looking to see what extreme, big beers there are out there, Revolution and Lost Abbey sort of round out the rest there, which Lost Abbey, interesting because a lot of the funky sour stuff they're doing probably not going to taste like it's that big.
It's true.
We have also put together the Untapped average by brewery. So this is the Untapped rating of the beers they're pouring. If they have a new beer that's never been untapped, then that is excluded. But if all their beers don't have a good Untapped rating, then it just says new. So we actually have 4 breweries that are bringing all beers that don't have a meaningful Untapped rating.
For the beers they brought. Yeah,
For the beers
not
they
for the
brought.
entire brewery.
Correct. But Kane Brewing, Ardwolf, which we hope is an Aardvark Wolf.
Fingers crossed.
4
Fingers crossed.
hands. And hopefully there's not literally, though.
It's in the
an
cage.
Aardvark
It's like,
Wolf. Yeah.
yeah.
So Kane, Ardwolf, 4 hands, and Great Notion sort of at the top there. And I guess actually Great Notion averages out with some others. There's some Revolution, J. Wakefield, Aslan, which is awesome there. You got Aslan, which has a high rating and a high ABV. Civil Society and Epic Brewing all there at the
These
top.
are all respectable ratings too, because even the lowest is 3.5, which I'm friends with. I don't know how you are with Untapped, Jeff. I've kind of fallen off the Untapped bus. I know Kathy doesn't use it much, but I've friends with people who use it very strictly. Like a 3.5 for someone could be my 4.5, but they're like very strict. I don't know how you are with your Untapped.
So pretty much to me, like most things come out at a 3. Is my like?
Does that mean you would go back to it?
Yeah, I guess. Like
Okay.
I look at it. You start at a 3 and you go up or down. In my eyes, we start at the
That's-
middle of the
yeah,
road,
yeah. Okay.
and 3 is more often not what I rate. Things that kind of I look at it like. If you can, like, if it's not too hard to go back, it's in the upper 3s, and if it's in the 4s up to 5s, it's like absolutely like take a detour to go back kind of a thing.
It's just crazy seeing Sierra Nevada as like the lowest, one of the lowest down there. knowing that the beers are good. But again, they probably have so many reviews as opposed to Kane, who might have.
Yeah, I mean, Dogfish Head is near the bottom as well for this, but 3.8 again.
Bullshit. This list is no. I'm
But
kidding.
you know what? There's nobody less than 3. Where no beers rather less than 3 because this is beer based.
You know what less than 3 is though in Excel. It's a heart.
It is. Oh, okay. The emojis, because kids doing text emojis, ASCII emojis
Cool.
over here.
That's all I have.
Geek humor. So
all I have
those
to
are some of the sheets we have broken up. We're gonna make this available if you want to build your own sort of charts. The raw data is there. We're gonna be adding to this, including the locations and some stuff there.
The location as far as the map is concerned.
Correct. The booth number, I think, is what we'll call, not the location.
Because
of the
I mean,
brewery.
yes, like it is. I don't know how you guys feel about lists, but this particular map is nice. It's not listed. It's listed alphabetically by brewery. I wish it were alphabetical or I wish it were numerical.
we could.
No.
We can provide one. I can do it. I can do both if you want.
But I'm just saying, by looking at this map, I would hope that 96 is the first one listed on the top, just so I have some sort of or number 1, doesn't matter. I don't know.
We'll make it work.
We'll make it work. Any final thoughts about the Extreme Beer Fest? Again, we're all going to Friday, and then we're going to Saturday before Bruins game, so we'll see what happens with that.
It'll be a big day for you guys.
Yeah, big day for the Bruins too.
Big day for the Bruins.
Big weekend for Boston because there's a Bruins
is.
game on Saturday, Celtics on Sunday, and the boys.
Yeah, it's a big
Sundays are for the boys.
Yeah, there's this little game on Sunday.
Unbelievable.
I think this is an exciting festival. Personally, for me, there's many breweries here that I've never had anything from, and in some cases never even heard of. So I am looking to expand my horizons and enjoy some stuff with the rest of the Let's Talk Beer crew. We will be there with shirts on, by the way.
Yes, we will.
Special shirts. Well, look out for them.
I got an extra shirt too, so
No way.
rolling 3 deep. Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
What is this, Christmas?
It's Christmas, yeah. It was for Rick Bruce, I think.
Shout out on the shirts, by the way.
Oh, go
To
for it.
Mike at Calico Graphics for hooking us up with those awesome
Yes,
shirts.
I can't wait to wear them. I'm trying to figure out how to put a GoPro around it, but just we'll get there.
Next time we'll order them with like a GoPro spot, like we can.
It just says
Mike
it says
can
like
do that.
GoPro here.
Place GoPro here.
Yeah, I have to
Mike, if you're listening, we're gonna need new shirts
I
with
have
a
to
GoPro spot.
figure out where it will lie. But yeah, and then before we go, I mean, anything you're looking forward to for the beer fest? I know Jeff's kind of looking forward to trying new things. You as well, obviously.
Always trying new things,
Yep.
but
There's no drive in that computer.
also
Correct.
looking forward to seeing some of the people from these breweries. That's something that you don't get at every fest, and we had that at the fest we were at yesterday, at the Beverage Ice Fest. Every
Yeah.
single booth is manned by someone. Granted, it's a much more local fest. There's not Californians
Sure.
at that fest, but it's really great to go to a fest like that and just talk. And there was one guy specifically, because I didn't know any brewers from this specific brewery. I asked if he was one, and he was like, nope, just a friend helping out. And that is how the industry goes.
Yeah.
So at least it still wasn't a random person. It was a friend of the brewer. He just didn't happen to be there when we were there, but he was at the fest. And
Yep.
that's something exciting. So you may not see old Randy Mosher there, or Sam Calgione, but you know that you're going to be seeing some people that they trust heavily to promote their brand. So it's a very exciting part to me.
Yes, absolutely. And I don't know if Sam is usually there. I don't know if Jim Cook will be there, but he should.
I mean, it's kind of local, so
It's-
it might
yeah, it's
be
his
a little-
backyard.
It is. Please.
So just one other thing I wanted to mention, just about the festival too. That's a big thing for Beer Advocate. They buy all this beer from these breweries, and they don't charge them booth fees.
Okay.
So they're making it easier for the small guys who maybe, giving up some kegs for a 3-session beer fest is not in their financial model, kind of a thing. So just that's as a reminder, when you're buying your ticket, it's money going to them so they can buy this beer. So that's important support. They're not expecting these guys to show up, and give away beer, even though they're sort of giving away beer.
Yeah. And I was going to go through the whole spiel of what to do, etiquette in a beer fest, but if you're listening to this podcast, you damn well know how to act.
Don't ever listen to our podcast again if you don't know how to act at a beer festival.
But luckily for Beer Advocate, obviously they have these festivals down to a science. They've been doing them countrywide for a while, so they have plenty of water stations, things
Drink
like
water,
that.
y'all.
Yep, the volunteers are there for a reason.
There's some food,
ask
too.
some questions.
There's some food.
There's food
Eat
there
some
as
pizza.
well.
Pizza, pretzel necklace.
Everything, yeah. Bring your pretzel necklace.
Do it.
But yeah, again, if you're listening to this and you haven't got your ticket, the only option right now is Friday or Craigslist. I don't know how they do transfers of whatever.
Yeah, I
But,
mean, they'll probably be guys, hawking them.
But yeah, so definitely go make the best of it. Go early in line because the line does wrap around, and you don't want to be standing around outside of the Seaport World Trade Center on a potentially cold day.
Hopefully it's not going to rain.
What's the weather looking like right
that's
now?
actually
at least?
what I was about to look at.
Friday, Saturday forecast brought to you by Let's Talk Beer.
And also, as I pull up the weather, just make sure that if you do see us, come up and say hi. We love talking to the fans of the show.
Absolutely.
So
We'll give you a card, a business card
it's
of
on
something you already know.
Honestly, this is easier if I just look at my phone for this.
I could just
But
I could ask her, but it would set off everybody's thing.
There's a her
Yeah.
you can ask.
The Echo.
Oh, okay. Boston, Massachusetts. Hopefully it goes out that far.
There's a her.
Friday AM snow showers, which is not a big deal, but Saturday mostly sunny.
Wait, what about just AM? So what's the degrees?
High of 34, low of 13 on Friday, which means at night it'll be on the lower side.
Yeah.
Saturday mostly sunny, 24 to 18 though, so it's actually be colder but sunnier.
Keep an eye out for Uber discounts or
Yeah,
Lyft
take an
discounts
Uber.
because
Eat
sometimes
breakfast, take an Uber.
sometimes
and
like a
drink water.
discount of like beer, whatever is the code for But drink.
And there's the Silver Line station pretty much right there too. So if you're local to Boston and want
Yes.
to take the T, ride the Silver Line.
So, anything else for this particular one? It's a solid hour too, so I think we pretty much did this justice. Again, go onto the show notes page of this podcast or on our Facebook page to check out this ridiculous spreadsheet by the numbers. Hell, bring it with you if you want. There's got to be a way to print
if
it.
there's anything you want to add but don't know how to add it, send us a message. We'll add it.
For sure. And we're going to shut this down for a second, but for those on Facebook, we're going to start back up in about 10 minutes, 15 minutes with the news show.
Oh, is Ben joining the new show too? Or
Negative.
no? So just three of us? All right, cool.
Yeah. So we're gonna pause this now on the EBS stuff, and if you're still watching, hang out. And if you're listening to the podcast, you should have another one in your queue as well, where we go over the beer news. But again, thanks for those new listeners that came. Tell a friend about the show.
Tell two.
What the hell? Let's talk beer. And if you see us at the beer fest, come say hi to us. We'll give you a little prize. And the prize, hug or a high five. You pick.
Ooh, hugs.
Or later, maybe a kiss on the cheek.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kisses from teddy bears.
Oh yeah. Bring the teddy bear. Whoever's got that Imperial Stout. Jeff, thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
Kathy, thank you for joining the
Thank
show.
you.
Thanks for having me.
In a non-beer fest setting.
I like the professional insight she brings instead of us two yahoos.
Oh,
just
God, we
making
need it.
shit
Yeah,
up over
right.
here.
Ooh, professional.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. Stop. No flattery. So we are going to. We'll be right back with this show. But again, guys, I'll see you at the Extreme Beer Fest. And if I don't, I won't. See you guys.
Bye.
Cheers.